That's not a comic book. Now that's a comic book.
Okay, and here we go with Green Lantern, the Sinestro Corps War. And this is where we get crossover for the first big time in the Green Lantern and Green Lantern Corps book that was coming out at the time. And this is what's been set up for a while, and what Johns ultimately wanted to end up doing with this, with his run, is introducing all the different spectrums. And so we got a little bit to set up the Zamorans, and that was about it. But now we're actively, shown the Sinestro Corps, what that is, what the hell is going on with that. And so we have an entire new corps of, evil Green Lanterns, essentially. Splash pages are cool. And this is just the first half of this Volume 1 of the Sinestro Corps War, as they begin to attack the Green Lantern Corps, and they start by kidnapping Kyle Rayner and taking Ion, which is the willpower equivalent of Parallax. You have Parallax, who is the embodiment of fear. He is the entity of fear. And you have Ion, who is the entity of willpower, and they can inhabit a person, but Parallax controls, whereas Ion just empowers. And that actually makes a lot of sense with the ideas of fear and will. Fear grips you, it makes you act in ways that you otherwise wouldn't. Whereas if you have strong will, it just empowers whatever it is you're already doing. It makes your decisions stronger. It makes your convictions stronger. It makes your ability to decide, to put yourself through things, to will yourself to do whatever it is you set your mind to doing, more sound. So I really like that. This is also where we get the moment from Green Lantern, the animated series, that they do it slightly differently, but it's the same essential thing where Ganthet, and in the book Sid, Said, S-A-Y-D, Ganthet and Said are excommunicated from the Guardians for feeling emotion. And this is one of the problems with this book, with John's run, in that Hal Jordan fucking killed all the Guardians except for Ganthet. And then Kyle Rayner, when he was the only Green Lantern, helped to birth new Guardians that were young. And then they basically matured throughout his time as Green Lantern, in its alien physiology, so they can be mature, thinking adults by however many years you need them to be. But they still very much act and communicate with one another as if those events never occurred, as if they have always been the Guardians. And so they're just never really clearly explain what the fuck that's supposed to be. And it's really distracting, and I think it is one of the biggest problems with Johns' whole run, is not just with the Guardians, but with a lot of the age of all of this. I mean, it's already inconvenient enough that all these, millennia-old prophecies are happening in the course of a couple years in John's Green Lantern book, because it doesn't seem that there's a breather between any of it. But there still is all this shit happening in a couple years, and there are characters that are, billions of years old that aren't the Guardians. Left and right, there are characters who have been around for millennia who are not the Guardians, like Atrocitus, like Larfleeze. And so how many ancient races are there in the galaxy? it's a really weird thought. And Larfleeze, when he got his own book, they just made fun of how stupid that was. So yeah, I don't particularly care for that side of it, and I think it is a big problem. But anyway, if you've seen Green Lantern, the animated series, you'll remember that really, really sad moment where the Guardians excommunicate Ganthet and send him off to go fuck about around the universe, and they do that to Sid and Ganthet here. Oh, sorry, page. The main thing going on in here that's worthwhile is the fact that the Green Lantern Corps just gets their asses handed to them out of nowhere. The Guardians rewrite the Book of Oa to allow the Green Lanterns the ability to kill. To allow them to use lethal force. Because they're just not enough of a threat when it comes to a war. And honestly, I don't like the idea of the rings not being able to kill. It just doesn't make much sense when you see, like, Green Lanterns explode ships in the middle of a battle, and it's like, oh, but everyone is okay. No, they're not. They're really not. The whole thing that I like about Green Lantern is the idea that the damn ring will only help you be better at what you're already going to do. And so it's on you to decide what the right thing to do is. And so I'm slightly disappointed in the idea of the ring having those kind of limits in it, and so I like the idea of removing it and leaving it up to the wearer to decide what's okay and not okay, what's acceptable and not acceptable. Sinestro's just crazy good in here. I love this scene with Natu. She's on Korrigar. It's a great issue, and just to see her put through the ringer and just see how Sinestro manipulates people into doing what he wants them to do. And that's exactly what the entire point of the Sinestro Corps War is, and Johns has talked about this. And I'll talk about this more when I do the second volume, probably next week or whatever. But, how to put this? Sinestro wants order in the universe, and he does see the Green Lantern Corps as something that can help maintain order. So really his ultimate goal in this is to better the Green Lantern Corps by making them be able to use lethal force. He has these conversations like, oh, you're an empty threat because you can't kill with the Green Lantern ring, so you're useless. And so, to make themselves able to defeat the Sinestro Corps, since they're on a level playing field, they have to be on a truly level playing field. But it's not like, oh, okay, now we can kill Austin. It's like, holy shit. What are we supposed to do with that? So it has some gravity to it, and I really like that about it. The way Kyle is written here, as he's possessed by Parallax, is really, really fun. And I think, like, really smart writing for Kyle, because he calls Hal Jordan things like old man. And I just think that's really clever writing, because he's preying on what's kind of in the back of Kyle's head and also in the back of Hal Jordan's head. In that, you know, Kyle was the one that picked up after him and in a lot of respects did the job better. Whereas Hal was kind of a, like, you know, fuck up. I don't know. You know what I mean, though. Hal just wasn't very good at the Green Lantern job, and, you know, he fell to fear and all this other stuff. So I don't know. I really like that. I think it's a nice little biting thing that Kyle was the one that picked up the torch, and how, in a way, even though they don't address it with each other, there is this sense that Hal feels somewhat inadequate to Kyle, and that exact feeling is how Kyle feels toward Hal, is that he feels like slightly less than Hal. So just to see them kind of confronting this all through Parallax is, I think, an interesting character dynamic to add. And Hal gets some not retribution, forgiveness, I don't know, from the Lost Lanterns, which are the ones that he defeated when he was Parallax. That was cool. God, Parallax with the open mouth is like the most terrifying thing ever. Oh. Anything else to talk about? The Battle of Mogo is really cool. All the Lanterns go to assist Mogo because he's under attack by the Sinestro Corps and the sentient planet Ranks, who has been built onto to become, or the sentient city Ranks, who has been built onto to become roughly planet-sized. And so there's Mogo, and then there's Stell, who's the robot Green Lantern, and Green Man, who's, another random guy. And they're like, okay, it's 3 Lantern 2828. I compute that there are approximately 100 life forms within 1 minute of the surface, and 10 times that behind. And 2 of us still. 3, says Mogo. 3 it is, Mogo, but the odds still look long. Odds of our survival under present conditions are approximately 16,000 to 1, even with Mogo's protection. That could, and here I was ready to die. And then, Gallows humor noted, but our deaths are of little importance, Lantern 2828. It is the survival of Lantern Mogo that must be ensured. Without him, the Corps could not develop the mental skills needed to control our rings. And then you have the Sinestro Corps member. Surrender Lanterns and die quickly. And then all of a sudden, one of my favorite Green Lanterns shows up. Worry not, brothers. Now we are 4. Boozed is a fucking beast. Look at that construct. That's like several thousand times his size. And he's just tearing through Sinestro Corps members. That's awesome. Dave Gibbons is a fantastic writer, and he knows everything that makes Green Lantern both cool and fun at the same time. Oh, I love that. That's such a cool fucking moment. Oh my god, Dave Gibbons. It's going to sound crazy, but rereading this stuff, I will give Johns so much credit for doing such a great job to reinvigorate the character and reimagine the mythology and really take it places. I think that it was almost a mistake that Dave Gibbons was writing Green Lantern Corps at the same time Johns was writing Green Lantern, because Green Lantern Corps got so overshadowed, but it was so fucking good under him. God damn, Dave Gibbons just knows what he is doing and how to have fun, how to be, how to let things be tragic, how to just show fucking awesomeness. Oh, Dave Gibbons is such a good writer. I never knew that. Like, I'd forgotten who wrote this run, and I remember really enjoying it, but going back to it, I'm loving every bit of it. Dave Gibbons is a fantastic writer. Bizzed is such a cool character. I fucking love Bizzed. Oh. Yeah, and then just shit gets escalated more and more. We're getting a lot of impossible situations. Lanterns are dying left and right. Vath and Izamat are really neat characters, too. We have Sodom Yacht introduced in this story as well. And he was part of the whole Alan Moore prophecy thing. So he's kind of obligatory, but So far, he's a nothing character. They develop him more as time goes on. But right now, we're in the heat of the Battle of Mogo, and then the rivalry between Akrillo and Kilowog is awesome, because they're entirely meant to be the same character on different sides. It's really, really fun. Only Akrillo isn't lovable. Akrillo's an asshole. Let's see if I can find it. God damn it! Where's that fucking cover? Yeah, there we go. Patrick Gleason cover of Akrillo and Kilowog with Ranks and Mogo in the background. It's a really cool cover. So you got the stuff set up with them. You got the Guardians working in the background, and it's no shit moment when we get the reveal. Some cool moments with, or something kind of like oh shit moment with Hal's family up back on Earth too. Man, this is such a good book. Sinestro Corps War is, I think, the best of John's run, and then from this point on, it keeps a pretty consistent level of quality of this damn good. After Sinestro Corps War, until Blackest Night is, I think, the gold of his run. Sinestro Corps War, though, is when it really, really started to hit, and it just hit perfectly. You can tell he knew exactly what he was doing, and that he'd had it all planned out when he was writing this. And Dave Gibbons just did a fantastic job keeping pace with him, and I think he makes it all the better. There are a lot of people who are like, oh, I didn't even read the Green Lantern Corps book because it didn't affect the Green Lantern book enough. And you fucking missed out, friend, because damn, this is good. Yeah, we get a big cliffhanger. Yep, good stuff. Really cool book. Fucking love it. It's great. Just damn good shit. Alright, that's gonna do it for this week's episode of Comic Reviews. I'd almost say, I'm tempted to say, I'm not gonna say it though, I'm tempted to say you could start reading Green Lantern with the Sinestro Corps War, but I think so much legwork is done to make a lot of the moments in this work as well as they do, that you would be hurting yourself to start here. What I think I'll say is read the John stuff up until Sinestro Corps, which is all the first volume of the omnibus, if you want to get it that way, but you're missing the core book, and I don't recommend doing that. Read the John stuff up until Sinestro Corps War, and at that point, if it's not working for you, then drop off. But everything Green Lantern up until that point, even the stuff that I don't love, like the Guy Gardner stories, it's so fucking good, guys. It's just awesome. I love it. So I'm going to be talking about the next volume probably next week. We'll see how this weekend goes. Don't want to make promises I can't keep. Anyway, that will do it for this week's episode of Comic Reviews, everyone. Thank you very much for watching. Till next time. Bye.
That's not a comic book. Now that's a comic book.